Hey, all you space cats. It's your favorite underground artist, Mitch Miller, host of the Black Hole Podcast. This is season 4, episode 8 of Alma Voter Voting Platform, is what this is titled. And this will be I believe, the last episode of this season. We're going to move on to bigger and better things. So I'll update you on the Alma Voter platform and where that's going to be left. And I'm going to talk about being the chairman of the FCC or a commissioner on the FCC, what I would do there. For all of you people out there that did your homework, you may think you don't need to listen to this episode, but there's going to be some bonus material on here. So stuff that's not up on the Mitch for Mayor website yet for the FCC. So just to talk about the Alma Voter platform, I reached out to colleges and universities in Pittsburgh and a few other cities where I wouldn't mind moving. I also reached out to every Ivy League college and or university. And I reached out to the computer clubs of those places. I didn't reach out to faculty or staff or anything about the Alma Voter platform. I haven't received any type of feedback about the platform. It's been months since I've been putting it out there on this podcast. Realize my listenership isn't that high, but eventually maybe it'll get out to the right people. But I'm going to put it on a back burner. I'm not giving up on the Alma Voter platform, just like I haven't given up on the Periscope platform. Eventually someone in computer science will say, this person has a lot of good ideas for technology, and I have the technical know-how. I'm going to partner with him to bring forward some of his creative ideas and count on him to continue to keep up with the creative ideas for technology. But I'm going to move on because on the last episode I said I have a way to lower emissions city by city, national through the United States and hypothetically globally. And it's a simple but I think genius idea. And I'll go into that on the next episode in season 5 because I'm going to make that season all about starting this nonprofit for this program and starting the nonprofit and running it and go into the details of the future of it and everything like that. And that being said, it'll be interesting to figure out how to start a nonprofit because probably the Periscope and Alma Voter platforms should be nonprofits as well. So this will give me a jumping off point, and then we can go back and work on those projects. So I want to talk about the FCC. And I have some ideas of what we could do with the FCC. I know a lot of people don't agree with me, but bear with me to the end of this podcast because I think you'll find that it's an interesting way of thinking and what can be accomplished with it. So I believe there's 3 rights that Americans have regarding communication. The first right is Americans have the right to keep tabs on the government, to have oversight over the government. They have the right to have access to video, audio of the government working and functioning, the Senate and the House, and even the president, so to speak. The second right is that every American has the right to every American has the right to truth-based news, to fact-based news. Sorry, not truth. I misused that word. Fact-based news. Every American has the right to the facts. The third right is that every American has the right to know how much wireless energy is being transmitted through their home, through their property, through their bodies, and through their brains. So those are the three rights that I want to put forward as chairman of the FCC. And I have some ways to get us closer to realizing these rights. The first is a interactive streaming platform. The second is a accreditation system for media companies. And the third is a blanket regulation on Wi-Fi routers. So, to speak about keeping tabs on the government, what I would do as chairman of the FCC or as a commissioner of the FCC is to start a interactive streaming platform. We'll call it Gov for this purpose. And this streaming platform allows citizens to register and have an account, and they have access to the 3 C-SPAN channels, C-SPAN 1, 2, and 3 for the federal government, their state, House, and Senate government channels if their state covers those with video or audio. Also their county and local governments if those governments cover the meetings with audio or video. So you have access to all of these channels through the Gov streaming service. So you can watch the government for free. Now C-SPAN as it stands now, you have to pay for a cable package in a lot of areas in order to get all the C-SPANs. I think it should be free. It should have been provided for free since the beginning of streaming services. And that's what we're going to deliver. The second part of this interactive streaming system is, as I said, an accreditation system for media companies. So I want to be clear, this is not government censorship. This is bringing truth-based information to news agencies through an accreditation system where anyone age 18 or older can vote on whether these media companies should be fined for reporting false information. Now, we had a candidate that ran on fake news, and everybody responded, fake news, and they got into office, and they just used the office to create more fake news. They did not have a comprehensive plan as to how to bring news back to a fact-based system, if it ever was really. I mean, I think it was more back in the early days based on fact, but this is an accreditation system through the FCC whereby independent watchdog organizations, not government watchdog organizations, but independent ones, can present clips of video from the news organizations and create their own 20, 30-minute, 10-minute case as to what was said on the news channel and why it was false information. Then the people of the United States can vote on whether they want to fine the news company for reporting false information. Majority wins. The money from the fines goes to establishing a ground-based, wire-based, not wireless, but wire-based internet to local municipalities throughout the United States. It also goes to funding the independent watchdog organizations. So, for example, say CNN reports that the moon is about to explode. And the watchdog organizations talk to NASA or whoever and say, look, we have soil samples from NASA, we have satellites that did internal scans of, or machines that did internal scans of the moon, and it's inert, it's made of inert material, it's not going to explode. Then the people vote that this was false information, fake news, and CNN is fined, and they may even be able to decide how much of the fine is. So the accreditation system comes in where if you're an accredited news source, you get to continue to keep your news moniker, but if you're mostly opinion-based, you have to take news out of the name of your organization, your agency. So you can no longer be called whatever news. So that's it's not going to limit these news agencies that report fake news. Other than they have to take news out of their name, you can still be, an opinion news gathering or an opinion source in the media. We're not going to shut off the news agencies that don't report truth-based information. They just have to call themselves whatever opinion, not whatever news. So that's the gist of that situation. It's a democratic way of bringing news sources back to true fact-based news. The final thing that I was talking about as chairman of the FCC is a blanket regulation on wireless routers. And the wireless routers being manufactured and sold in the United States would require a feature where it's already a regulation of the FCC, they must receive and transmit the wireless signal. But these wireless routers would also be required to scan all known wireless signals, all known or FCC approved wireless signals, and map it out in a feature that comes up you can download on your computer. It could be a feature that connects to your Gov account so that it's recorded on the internet and tracked on the internet. But if you don't want to connect to the internet with your account, it can just be on the computer and tracked on the memory of your computer. But it maps out every wireless signal being transmitted through your house. And it maps it out with a graph to show the intensity, how many megahertz of that wireless signal is being transmitted at what times of the day. It tracks in real time throughout the day how much signal is being broadcast through your house. And it'll show AM, FM radio signal, it'll show mobile telephone signal, it'll show the neighbor's Wi-Fi signal, your Wi-Fi signal, broadcast television signal, all the different signals. It'll break it down and show you which ones are being broadcast at what intensity. So you may not, I know I'm fighting an uphill battle. You may not agree that every citizen has the right to know how much wireless energy is being broadcast through their body, or at least their property or their home. And it's an uphill battle. People love the convenience of wireless communication. I argue that some of them are even addicted to wireless communication. And as I've argued before, I believe wireless signal is accountable for some mental illness. It causes some mental illness. I know it's going to be a huge uphill battle to get people to come around to that idea. But don't you think we should at least, wouldn't it be nice to know how much wireless energy is in your house? Don't you want to at least know? I mean, just for your information. And think of it this way. If you come around to this way of thinking, we could file suit against these media companies as a class action for a city, say the city of Pittsburgh, and we could require them to broadcast all the city's professional sports teams' games in HD wirelessly, right? So why is it that these media companies broadcast communication waves. They broadcast all these reality shows and programs in syndication to gather some advertising revenue by broadcasting all these shows and stuff. They sell the commercials on them. They get revenue from it. It's okay to broadcast 60 channels in a major metropolitan city of all these syndicated old television programs and movies and stuff like that. But the stuff we actually want, the sports teams, they save those for their cable packages so that they can reap billions of dollars off of that. And it's ridiculous. I mean, I'm fed up with it. You should be fed up with it. It's time for a change. And if you come around to this way of thinking, we could have all professional sports teams per city, city by city, broadcast for free. So that's just one thing we can do. That's one possibility if you come around to this type of thinking. And to the professional sports athletes out there, I don't want you to be worried if your organization comes to you and says, well, we have to broadcast this for free now and our revenue's down and we're not going to be able to pay you the same. If they ever come to you and make a pay decrease to you in any way, I have a plan to supplement professional athlete income using their image. I have a plan for that. So come to me if you're a professional athlete worried about this. I can develop a strategy so that you're not losing out on any money because of this transition to free games. And they're still going to sell advertising on it, so they're not going to lose that much money. The cable companies make billions and trillions off of an infrastructure that was probably subsidized by taxpayers and is in place now. So they're literally just reaping profit now with these internet systems. So anyway, that's one of the possibilities we have with this technology. Those are the three rights I believe we have as American U.S. citizens that I will deliver at the FCC if you give me the mandate to deliver these things by writing to your congressperson or the president and asking them to appoint me as a commissioner or chairman of the FCC. I think it would be an interesting confirmation hearing in front of the Senate. I never fail to impress with what I'm going to say next, I guess. So it should be interesting. But so join me next episode. We'll start season 5, and I'll go through my emissions lowering nonprofit plan, strategy and program to streamline traffic and lower emissions. Thanks to my sponsors. If you're in Utica, Pennsylvania, visit Krabby Kelly's. Get all your STDs at Krabby Kelly's. That's snacks, tobacco, and drinks. If you find yourself in Incheon, South Korea, stop by Liquor Burger for a beer. Tell them Mitch sent you. If you have a logo or design you want screen printed or embroidered on a garment of clothing, look no further than Neon Grouse. neongrouse.com. Contact them or contact me directly. And if I take your order, 30% of my commission goes to subsidizing clothing for people with disabilities. Also, please subscribe to the Disability TV YouTube channel. Subscribe and like. It's our fledgling media company for disabled people, by disabled people. And that's most of the sponsors. There are other people that support me morally and monetarily, but thanks for listening, and join me next time on the Black Hole Podcast.